If you are wondering whether gold is worth buying right now, stay with this video until the end, because the final part explains when gold actually makes sense and when it does not. Gold has always had a special place in American investing conversations because people see it as a safe haven when markets feel uncertain. Some people buy gold to protect their wealth, some buy it because they fear inflation, and some simply like the idea of owning something physical that has lasted for centuries. But the big question in 2026 is not whether gold is important. The real question is whether today is the right time to buy it. To answer that, you need to understand what usually drives the gold price in the first place. Gold tends to get attention when inflation is high, interest rates are moving, the dollar is weak, or investors are nervous about stocks and geopolitics. In other words, gold often shines brightest when confidence in other assets starts to fade. That is one reason people call it a hedge, because it is often used as a way to balance out risk in a portfolio. But a hedge is not the same thing as a guaranteed profit. Gold can go up for a long time, but it can also move sideways or fall when investors prefer other opportunities. That is why buying gold without a plan can be a mistake. If you are thinking about gold today, the first thing to ask is what role it plays in your portfolio. Are you trying to protect yourself from inflation, diversify away from stocks, or simply speculate on price movement? Your reason matters because it determines how much gold, if any, you should own. For some investors, a small allocation to gold can make sense as part of a broader strategy. For others, especially those focused on long-term growth, too much gold can drag down returns because gold does not produce dividends or earnings. That means gold is different from stocks, which can grow through business profits over time. Gold is more about preservation than expansion. Another thing to keep in mind is how you want to buy it. You can buy physical gold, gold ETFs, mining stocks, or other related products, and each one comes with different risks and benefits. Physical gold may feel more tangible, but it also brings storage, security, and sometimes higher costs. Gold ETFs can be easier to trade, while mining stocks can behave very differently because they depend on company performance as well as the price of gold. So the best option depends on whether you want convenience, direct ownership, or market exposure. Now let's talk timing, because that is what most people care about when they ask if it is time to buy. The truth is that timing gold perfectly is just as hard as timing any other asset. Gold can look expensive and still continue rising, or it can look cheap and stay flat longer than expected. That is why many investors use a gradual approach instead of trying to make one perfect entry. Buying in smaller amounts over time can reduce the pressure of trying to predict the exact bottom. It also helps you avoid emotional decisions based on one headline or one dramatic news story. If inflation is still a concern, or if you think markets could get rocky, gold may deserve a place in your watch list. If you already own a diversified portfolio and you are just chasing the latest price move, you may want to slow down and think first. Gold is not usually the kind of investment you buy because everyone else is excited. It is the kind of asset people often want when they are worried, cautious, or planning for uncertainty. That is also why gold behaves differently from many growth assets. It often becomes more attractive when confidence is low, and less attractive when investors are focused on higher returns elsewhere. So, is it time to buy gold today? The honest answer is that it depends on your goal, your time horizon, and how much protection you want in your portfolio. If you want a defensive asset and you understand the trade-offs, gold can still be useful. If you want fast growth, gold is usually not the best place to look. The smartest move is not to ask whether gold is good or bad in general. The smarter question is whether gold fits your financial plan right now. If you watched until the end, you now understand the real decision. Gold is not just about price, it is about purpose, and that is what separates a smart purchase from an emotional one.